Hi there, my name is Graham with Suncoast Changer Service, and today we're going to be giving our top 2 tips for how to keep your machine clean so that it doesn't have to get sent in for maintenance so often. This is an older MEI type acceptor, but today's video can still apply to newer machines. Today's video applies to Mars, Pyramid, CoinCo, and many others. The 3 I mentioned are just the 3 largest in the US, however, there's a lot of different copycat brands out there. Regardless of whether you have one of these 3 brands or one of the copycat brands, today's cleaning video will still apply. So without further ado, here are 2 ways that you can clean your acceptor to ensure the machine lasts as long as possible in between repairs and to help keep your downtime to a minimum. As I go ahead and pull the bill box off here, one thing to keep in mind is we want to keep any kind of heavy-duty chemicals out of our equipment. This means that when we're cleaning out our equipment, we want to stick to something kind of mild, more like Windex, which is what you'll see me using in today's video. One of the first things we can do is we can go ahead and try to get any dust out of these ball bearings in the bill box. This is really important because it helps to keep the money moving, and it helps it to stack into the stacker a lot better. So I'm just continuing down in the same motion, lifting up and then going back from the top toward the bottom. This is going to help work out any clumps of dirt that might be in there. Once we get all those ball bearings back into their proper position, we can move on to the inside of the machine. To do maintenance on the lower assembly, we simply want to lift up on this latch. It can be a little bit tricky at times, especially if your machine is older. For some machines, this may also be a button. We have a lot of dirt in this machine, so let's go ahead and do an initial cleanup with a little bit of Windex on a rag, and we just want to wipe everything down. You'll notice a lot of the dirt tends to stick to these rollers, and we can clean that up pretty easily with a small screwdriver, although you want to be careful not to scratch those wheels if you can help it. I like to brace my thumb up against the wheel to make sure it doesn't move, and you can pretty much scrape in any direction as long as you do it lightly. This is going to help to get all of that dirt off. You may want to wrap your screwdriver in a paper towel or something just to make sure that you don't go shoving it in places it shouldn't be. But once you go ahead and get the wheel mostly clean, you can wipe it down with a little bit of Windex once again, and you should be all set. Now, as long as we're in here, there's no sense in leaving any dirt behind, so to get in between this little fluted area, we're going to go ahead and use a Q-tip. Now, the reason we want to clean out everything is because, well, we don't want dust bunnies getting into places they shouldn't be, so as long as we're in here, we might as well go ahead and clean this out. If you're wondering how often you should pull apart and clean the lower receiver, it's entirely dependent upon how much money is going through your machine. If your location tends to be pretty busy and you only have one machine, you're probably going to have to do this fairly often, but it's important to do this because it makes it so that you don't have to send it off for maintenance anywhere near as often. And as long as we're in here before we put the bill box back on, we might as well do a visual inspection of the belts. Once you notice things starting to wear out and maybe fraying around on the edges, it's probably time to have them replaced, and you should do that before they completely fall apart. Feel free to send it to us, and we'll be more than happy to take care of that for you.